Inconceivable. Yes, teacher's been shopping. No, not going to Target. Etsy. It's my favorite place to get a t-shirt. Okay, here you go. Same thing. That means times. Oh yeah, it's lesson 8.2, by the way. This is the intro. You with us now? You up to speed? Okay. So, your job is stick in the decimal. We've done this like 10 times. You can do it. All right, I'm getting my head out of the way. Hit pause now. There you go. You did it. Okay, let's see how you did. All right. So I'm thinking 12 times 5 is 60. Bing! 100 times 4, that's 400. Bing! 15 times 20. Okay, 15 times 2 is 30. Add a 0 is 300. Okay, where's that one? Bing! 100 times 60, 600. Okay, not that close. I could have made it a 700. All right, now we're getting obnoxious. This one's kind of red. 900 times, this is 2 100ths. So I'm gonna think, let's tappy this side, that's easier. Tappy, that's weird. Okay. When I take 100th of this number, I'm just gonna move the decimal over 2 spots. So that's 9.9. That's 100th. So if I have 200ths, it would be twice of that 9.9. That's like 20. That one's a little tricky. This one I don't think is quite as hard. If you remember that 0.25 is the same as what fraction, kids? Yes, that's right, 1/4. So 1/4 of 3, it's like 3 divided by 4, which is 3/4. So where can I put something near 3/4? That would be 0.8, because 0.75 is 3/4. All right. How'd you do with that? Is that all right? Sure it was. You can do it. We believe in you. Okay, here's today's part. So to do this, to tell you what you got to know for today, get out your book and open to page 279. All right, so we're going to kind of do this together, and that's going to be your introduction. So it's got this rectangle here. Basically, you're going to be coming up with how rectangles and triangles are related to each other. You know how to do the area of a rectangle, and then you're going to be able to do a quick trick to figure out the area of a triangle. All right, so let's check out this triangle, this rectangle they got here. So how tall is it right here? This is something the kids mess up. You're only looking at that line. It goes up 1, 2, 3, and then another half. So this is 3.5. It's 3.5 going that way. This way, counting out, that's easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 lengths of a square over there, so that's 6. Okay, so to find out what the area is, you do 6 times 3.5, so which is 6 times 3, 6 times a half, which is half of 6, that's 3, and you get, that's right, 21. Good for you. All right, now, you're gonna do the same thing. If you'll notice, this is also the triangle here is 6 on the bottom, and it's also 3.5 tall, but these are gone. And you are gonna try to figure out what the area is. Well, you tried to do it yourself, didn't you? Okay, no you didn't. So here's what the deal is. Every triangle is actually half of a rectangle. Every one. I'm gonna prove it to you. And here's the example on the math message. Imagine that these little dotted lines were still there. Doesn't look perfect on my drawing because I just drew it, but that is the same amount as that. So if you can find the big one, guess what you do? You take half of it, and that's called the rectangle method, which is what they ask you for 3. So how can you use the number from this for number 2? It says how to use this to get the triangle. You just take half of it. So the rectangle method is, if you've got a triangle and you're trying to find the area, figure out what the rectangle that it's part of. So let's do another one. Let's say you got a triangle like this. Oh, let's not do that. Let's make it tall and skinny. Okay, let's say this is 3 and this is 7. Okay, and you're like, dude, I don't know the area. So you'd think, oh, let's imagine if I sent up a line going directly up, so this was 90 degrees here, and directly over there, and now I've got a rectangle. And that's a 3 by 7 rectangle, so that rectangle is 21. Yes, why did I choose the same number? Let's not forget 3 and 7. Let's make that 8. So we get different numbers than our last example. That's thinking. 3 and 8. So the big one is 24. So guess what the area of this triangle is? That's right, it is 24 square units, whatever we're doing. Okay? And you might think to yourself, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, does that really work for like every triangle? Come on. Really? Come on. Yes, that's the answer. Let's do one like this. Let's say I had a triangle like this. And you're like, yeah, I don't see a rectangle there. But wait, you can. So you take this guy here. Just touches. Okay. You measure along this line. Let's say this one is, I don't know, 10. You measure how tall the triangle is. We don't care how long this guy is. I don't care. I'm not trying to get around the triangle. I'm just trying to find out how much space it takes up. So I don't care. But I do care how tall it is because I need to know that for the rectangle piece. So I figure out that this is, let's say it's 2 tall. Okay? So that means this big rectangle is what? 10 times 2 is, you got it, it's 20. So guess what the sucker is? 10 square units. And you're like, really? Yes, because if I could do it in like a magic world, if I could chop this off, this piece right here off, and chop this piece right here off, I could put them together and it would exactly, I could lay them on top of this guy and it would exactly work. If you don't believe me, draw one on a piece of paper and with some scissors, cut it out and stuff like that. All right? So any crazy shape it works for. So sometimes the book's gonna have, it's gonna do something like this on you. Okay? And they're gonna tell you to find the area that, and you're like, dude, that's not like a triangle, but it is. You can cut it up into a rectangle, find out the area of that guy, and then this triangle, find out the area of this rectangle here, take half of it, and that'll give you that piece. So it's gonna put together 2 pieces. So you'll have to do that some when you do the next page on page 280. Now let me warn you, on page 280, you're gonna go do that in a second. There are a couple of obnoxious problems, like number 4. So this is one of those everyday math times when they just teach you something and then they throw like graduate degree work at you. Go for number 4, but like don't freak out about it. It's stupidly hard. All right. The other ones, some of the try thises are actually easier. But all you got to do is figure out how to drop. If you got some funky shape, like say that one, think rectangles, and that'll help you. And you can always break the shape up into like, hey, here's a rectangle, and here's a rectangle. That one's a whole rectangle. And these pieces, I'm gonna find the area and take off half of it, give it a shot. So, you've now done 279. You can, kind of did that together. So go do 280, go to the next video and all that, all right?